sensational goal from Garnacho as well. I want to start with the goal more so than the performance, boys. But KJ, the goal from Garnacho today. Talk to me.
Listen, there's someone older on Ollie special. Individual brilliance. Martial and Rashford on the goal sheet. Bruno Fernandes with an assist. And you know what? A bit of hectic defending from the Choco brothers at the back with Lindelof and Maguire. It felt like old times. It felt like Ollie was there reincarnated on the sideline in Van der Gaag. You know what I'm saying? But the goal, Terry, oh my Lord. When I was watching the game, I was very nervous about this match. I didn't think we would come out with a win. I thought with everything that's going on with the club and everything that's going on with Everton as well, I thought they'll just come and give it to us and we would fold at some point during the game. When I saw that cross go in and my man put his body in the air and recreated Rooney, I was gone. I was like, what the hell? I was like, yes. And like that goal is amazing. No one can take it away from him. That goal is one of the best goals the Premier League will ever see. Because to do it in the pressure of going to an away game, being so young, being part of a team that is so maligned by not just the fan base of their own club, but also the media, also rivals. To do that, to say F you to everybody, love that. Absolutely wonderful goal.
Yeah,
and I'm
it
happy
certainly was. Staffy, a lot of people are saying the best ever overhead kick goal. How good does the technique have to be to travel backwards 5 steps, fly through the air in the opposite direction, and put it into the top corner like that?
KJ said it gave me Rooney flashbacks, and I'll tell you something. I missed that Rooney goal a few years ago when he scored that. I didn't get to see it live, so I'm glad that I got to see the replay of it. You know, the recreation of it. Because the minute I saw that cross, I was like, what is he doing here? And then I see the ball hit the back of the net. I was like, nah, there's no way he just scored this. Because I just killed him on my match preview. I said he's so shit, this and that. And I apologized to him just for the goal. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to carry away more than that. It's just the goal. Listen, thank you for the moment. It's a great goal. It's a great goal. But I actually didn't want you to ask me about that. I wanted you to ask me about the DM. Can you ask me about the DM?
We'll get into that. We're just going to try and structure the show. We'll do goal. We're going to do Mainoo.
So can you save me to that? Because that's the part that I want to talk about. Listen, class goal. Absolutely class goal. I think I will talk a little bit about it because I think it did really, really help us at the time that they scored it. Well, we scored in the second minute. In a toxic environment like that, the atmosphere was, you guys saw the build up to the game. Like they were very loud, they were very energetic. I was worried about losing because I knew the occasion itself was going to play a part. It's a big game for them after they're losing the 10 points. They were coming in, they were smelling blood. They know we haven't been the best. And I think that goal stunned everyone. It stunned the fans, it stunned the Everton players, it stunned our own players, but it gave us a good stun. We're like, wow, we're actually good. Did you see this goal we just scored? Now let's go and build on it. And I felt like the time of it really played in our hands because eventually you saw they grew into the game, but it just delayed because of the goal that we scored. I feel like it took them like 20 minutes to finally get in the game. Yeah. They had us on the ropes in the last 15 minutes. But that goal for me kind of saved us some time until that happens because they should have been playing like that from minute 1. I'm talking about Everton. But that goal itself, listen, I celebrated the goal crazy. So great.
You didn't do it. You didn't do a league gunner and say F him. I'm not celebrating.
You know what it is, Terry? As much as you guys like to say I'm a league gunner, as much as these players I don't like, I am a United fan at the end of the day. It's like, you know, when you're mad at your kids, Terry, you're mad at your kids, but they do something wrong. Like you're happy, you know, because they did something. Even if you're mad at them at the moment because they did something wrong, but like you still love them. They're your kids. That's how it is with United for me. As much as I get angry at United, and there's a lot of things that I complain about, the goal gets scored, and my instant reaction is to celebrate. It's just like
I'm telling you this now. My kids wish that I love them as much as I love Man United. I'm telling you that now. But sorry, babies. I'm sorry if none of you are watching, but yeah, I love you all. Hannah, that goal, I think Staffy Paul's on a great point. That goal came at such an important time because in the whole build up to this game, it was the opening 10, 15, 20 minutes is going to be too much for Man United to handle. So not only was it a great time to score, but maybe the greatest goal we'll witness all season.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, first of all, a goal scored from a forward. And in the first 5 minutes, I was like, am I watching this? It was amazing. And I was so happy for him because he always gets a lot of stick on social media, Garnacho. And again, they're all under so much pressure because our forward statistics with like goals and assists this season has been really bad. So the fact that all of our goals today as well came from 3 attackers was really nice, and it was refreshing to have. And they were all really good goals as well, like all good quality, nice goals to see. So everyone's saying it's just Everton. Like, I went into that game today thinking we'd lose, like, you know, the kind of ropey wins that we've had, scraping 1-0. Like, that's our biggest win in the season so far, isn't it? I think. So I'll take it. Like, I think we should be.
Absolutely. I think we all take it. It was just nice. And when the third goal went in, my brother and me were watching it together, and it went in. I was like, I can actually, for the first time this season, sit back and relax for the last 15 to 20 minutes of a game. And I can't tell you, for my anxiety, that was amazing. It was so good. I actually haven't felt like that for about 9 months watching Manchester United play. More on the goal to come later, but I did want to, I have to talk. I'm chomping at the bit to speak about Kobbie Mainoo. And I am going to come to you, Staffy, don't worry about that. But I want to go sunshine first on this, because this is a player that everybody's wanted in the team for such a long time. He gets the injury in the summer. He starts today, and a lot of people question the manager. Why start him in this game with the pressure that's on it? But young Kobbie stepped up today, and he put in a very mature, top-class performance, I felt. What was your take on him today?
Oh, sorry, I think it's froze my end. I don't know. Can you hear me, boy?
Yeah? You're back now, Matt. You're back.
All right, cool. No worries. If it cuts out, I'll jump back out and come back in. But yeah, man, listen, I'm so happy, man, because last season, even before last season, I was raving about Kobbie Mainoo. And it fell on deaf ears, man. It fell on deaf ears, and rightly so, because most people wanted a bigger sample size. But the first thing I ever saw from Kobbie Mainoo was and again, not today. This is the first time actually ever watching the kid. There was a time when the ball came into midfield, and he had two opposition players coming in at him, and he's literally shielded one on his step, taken the touch of his left foot on the inside to take it away from the second man, and then knocked it past the third man that was oncoming and switched it to I think it was the right back. And I was like, how are you doing that? To me, that's high IQ. You're playing football like you're 30 years old. And from then, I've always screamed about him and said, he's ready. Sometimes some players, you need time. You have to look at them and go, I need a bit more of a sample size. Some players, you just know, if you know ball good enough from a high technical standpoint, you will just know he's good enough. And I've been screaming out for him. And it's no joke, Terry, that in pre-season, he was getting starts and he looked like he was going to be a main part of the Ten Hag system. And I know I spoke about Frankie de Jong before as a profile player in that 6th role, but today you really saw that similar profile in Kobbie Mainoo. Yes, he's 18. I can appreciate that, but we're talking about a freak of nature of 18. We're not talking about just some 18-year-old. So let's not do no disjustice to Kobbie Mainoo, saying he's showing up players like McTominay, because he's a freak of nature to be able to play the way he plays. And what he did in that 6th role today is absolutely everything that Ten Hag's been screaming for his system. And this is why I always bang on about profiles being so important when you're trying to build and go and play the way you want to play. So for me, of course, man of the match. And it's so refreshing to see that you just come back from an injury, come straight into the team, and you just played like you've never left. That should tell you enough about this kid's mentality. It's normal for him. What we saw today is normal. It's natural. And that shouldn't be natural for any 18-year-old. He is a freak of nature. He's incredible, man. So, long may he stay fit, man. God bless him and all that, man, because that kid, man, trust me, it looks like he's still going into flipping, like, remember school dinners back and they used to wait for your cue? Like, just stand there. He looks like the quietest kid in school who just stand there waiting for his dinner in the line, bro. He got mad talent, bro. Like,
he certainly has. And I will come to Cam. I know Cam hasn't spoke yet, but Staffy, I know this is a player that you have been waiting for all year. You've raved about him. And look, for an 18, look, no one wants to get carried away, but there's been very few 18-year-olds midfielders in Man United's history that have come in and played like that straight away. How good was he today, in your opinion?
No, you can have these conversations, Terry. I've been talking about this since the summer. So if anyone wants to sit here and say, "Oh my God, look, he's overreacting. You only beat Everton," no. Everyone here, especially Terry, knows I've been talking about this since the summer. Because I don't care what people said. I've said before, if he's good enough, he's old enough. Everyone said you're waiting on an 18-year-old to save your season. That's never what I said. I came here and been called negative so many times because I wanted the change in the profile of the 6. I said I don't want Casemiro for obvious reasons. And I said, wait until Mainoo is back and you'll see what he'll do in this midfield. I got called crazy. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about, this and that. Our best performance so far this season from a 6, when you look at all the games, besides probably the Amrabat debut one, which was very good against the Palace team in the League Cup, was today. This is the best performance we've seen from a 6 in our team all season. The kid is 18, okay? He played the most mature football on the pitch today, and he's the youngest one. He was the best midfielder on both sides. Our midfield didn't even play good today. Collectively, we didn't look good in the midfield. But individually, he did everything right. And as Sunshine said, the way he was shielding the ball, the way he was taking a touch, the way he was taking a step, everything he did today was class. He didn't put a foot wrong. And when we talk, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again, and I make it very clear. When people rave about Zaire Emery from PSG, even though he's 16, 17, when people rave about Yamal from Barcelona, and he's also 17, I'm putting Kobe Mainoo in the same conversation. If you guys want to glorify them because they're players that play in teams that you rate in outside in leagues outside of the Premier League, I am putting Kobe Mainoo in the same conversation because he is our best 6. I was worried about him. I won't lie though. I was worried about him because of the occasion, and I said it's one of two things today. He's either going to sink or swim. There's no in between. Because going to Everton away as a lone 6 when you haven't played all season, all our 6s struggled this season. We all spoke about our 6s struggling. He's the only one that we've seen this season that didn't look he was struggling. So when United fans are scared to say, listen, we don't want to jump the gun, we don't want to say this and that, I am telling you, as much as people like to call me negative, I'm being positive today. I am telling you to say it with chest. We have a generational number 6 in our team. Bro, come on. Me and Neji are sitting here agreeing. If we're agreeing, we're doing something right. We're never agreeing. So that says something,
For me, do you know what's interesting? You can have players at this age that are ready. Now, he ain't going to be able to play every game in a season because you've got to rotate. But you can't play a 25-year-old in every game in a season. You can't play a 30-year-old in every game. Duncan Edwards was this good at 18 years of age. He just was. Paul Scholes, when he came into the Man United team, was already of a top class level. So Bobby Charlton, when he came into the Man United team as a teenager, was of a top class level almost straight away. We have seen Caicedo come into the Premier League, slightly older, but just be brilliant straight away. Declan Rice, it took a long time for people to rave about him. But this guy's been brilliant since he started playing for West Ham. So it's not like we're talking about Kobe Mainoo in a very obscure way. Like we've never seen a player at 18 who's about to turn 19 be very good. And do you know what a little bit stood out to me today? There's a moment in the first half, I want to say it was about 20 minutes into the game. And we were down, as you're watching on your TV screens, it would have been in sort of the bottom left corner near our own box. And the ball got passed into him and I was nervous because he had 2 or 3 players around him. And he dropped his shoulder, turned, moved away from 2 or 3 players pressing him and played a simple safe crossfield pass to Lindelof. Now, to a lot of people, that'll be, I see that all the time. Well, yeah, you will if you're a City fan because you've got Rodri. You will if you're an Arsenal fan because you've got Declan Rice. We haven't seen that consistently with that much ease at Man United, in my opinion, since Michael Carrick, Paul Scholes, and Hargreaves were running our midfield, and that was 15 years ago. And I don't want to, again, there's going to be peaks and troughs in this player, but the talent is 110% genuine in this kid. And I think we saw it today in heaps and bounds, there's no doubt. Cam, what was your take on him today? And is he a player now that you think should be starting regularly, irrespective of being 18, or should he be used sparingly? What's your thoughts?
Start him. Why not? I have no issue with starting him. I do have issue with, shout out Indiana. He's been screaming for him for a long time. I have the issue I have with any 18-year-old or something, like they can't be your savior. Like you cannot put that much pressure on one kid that age. I don't care how good they are. It's just not fair. But that being said, start him. He's good enough. He should be starting. Like, let's be honest, when we were watching in the preseason, I think what happened, which is kind of sad, is like he was fully part of the plan. He was a bit like he was part of the whole midfield setup. It's what we needed. Is what we saw.
Cam, he started 3 games in a row.
No, yeah, I know.
And he started against Real Madrid.
It was very clear he was going to be the guy, one of the guys, not the guy, but one of them, right? And then everything kind of went sideways when he got hurt. And yes, managers should have backup plans, but when you manage Man United, you don't get backup plans, unfortunately. You get told to work with what you have. That's why Scott McTominay's still here, and that's why Staffy made a very good point. Our midfield didn't look good because, once again, Scott McTominay in our midfield does not look good. Man thinks he's playing for Scotland and is always getting way too forward and just doing dumb shit. Like at one point, I remember he took the ball off Rashford coming back, and Rashford just like stopped and looked at him like, man, what are you doing? Like, so there's still that problem with the midfield balance, but Mainoo it's a breath of fresh air. It was fun to watch somebody make the right decision every time he touched the ball. Like, I'll say that every time I watched him, he made the right decision. It was a simple play, either there was the right pass back. He looked forward more than anybody else. It was just always the right. It's what Staffy, I will give you credit for this, is what you always kind of rave about, keeping the ball, right? We know Bruno's, that's not what he does. Bruno's not looking to keep the ball. He's looking to find that big pass, but Mainoo looked for the right pass, and we need that. So I'm really excited about him and the team. I think we just can't put our hopes on one player, but let's keep starting him. Long may continue. And I wanted to say one thing about the Garnacho goal, because you asked everybody, is it the best they've seen? There is one I've seen better, just one, and it's Bale in the Champions League final. I would say I think that was very close, very similar in the save, going away from his body, the way he rose up. But that goal, guys, it was depressing for me because I was making my coffee. I was in no rush to start the game. I was in no ruch. I turn on the game and I see 1-0 up, and I go, I gotta rewind.
You probably thought it was a tap, and you're like, I miss shit goal.
You missed it.
See the replay.
This was a weird one for me because obviously I saw this one. I was at Old Trafford when Rooney scored his. I watched Rooney's live, and it was just, and that was great, but also horrible because it was like, I want to see it again, but I had to wait because there's no replays and no screens at Old Trafford. It was like, I couldn't, but I did believe what he did, but we were all sort of asking each other, did he just do that? But there's no replay, nothing. So it was nice to actually see replays on it today.
I rewinded it, so I watched it, and I was so excited about the goal. I was like, no way did I see what I just saw. I went to my missus, who does not give a shit about sports or football, and I go, I'm sorry, you got to watch this.
I did the same thing.
She's like, what's happening? Nothing's happening. I'm like, just wait for it. Just wait. Boom! And she's like,
wait, literally, that replay came up. I was like, babe, come here, watch this. I was watching my phone.
The goal was so good.